Okay, so we are still in the slide master view, and this master slide that we've been working on applies to all the different types of layouts that we use within our presentation. Now, some of the layouts require certain buttons on them and some of them don't. For example, if we take the help screen, that only needs a return button to return to the last slide previewed and a menu button to return to the menu. But the menu slide doesn't require a menu button, but it does require other buttons. So you need to have a little think about what layouts are going to be appropriate. Now, what I would recommend is that you use this style of layout, which is the title slide layout, as you can see, and you use that for your menu. Now, to make things a little bit easier, we can actually rename this. So I'm going to rename this layout as menu. Click on rename, and now when I hover over it, we can see that that is our menu layout. I then recommend that you use this layout for the majority of your slides. That is everything except the help, the menu, and the individual senior instructors. So we're going to make this our main slide layout. So we'll right hand click on this and select rename, and we'll call it main. And again, if we hover over it, it says main layout. Now, the last sort of slide that we need is going to be our main pictures of the instructors. Now, this isn't the instructors when they're all on the slide and they're animated. This is the individual pictures of the instructors and the information about them. Now, if you scroll down the list of layouts, you'll notice that there is one there called Picture with Caption. And there's your picture, and there's an opportunity there for you to put the caption. So if we rename this one, and we'll call it Senior Instructor Details. And rename. And we don't need any of the other layouts, so what we'll do is we'll delete them. Okay, and that then just means that we don't have to worry about them getting in the way and confusing the issue. So we'll delete those layouts as well. We seem to have one left, which is that one. We'll just remove that last one. There we go. So this is our main layout. Anything we do on here will affect the whole presentation. That means the menu layout, the main layout, and the senior instructor layout. Okay, now the menu layout we are going to use for the menu slide and the help slide. Don't worry about the fact that the help button is going to be on there. We can overlay that later by using the return button for returning to the slide. This main layout slide will be used for the senior instructors, not the individual pictures of them, but the whole set of them, the cars, and the contact. And then this slide, the senior instructor details layout, will be used for each of the individual senior instructors. The next thing to do is decide what is going to go on each of your slide layouts. Now, if we take the main slide layout to start with and have a look at this, there's going to be one button that hasn't been added on there, and that is the menu button. So let's put that on. What we'll do is we'll take the help button. You can see I can't click on it here. If we click back onto the main master slide, we can copy that. So right hand click, copy. Go back to our main slides and we'll paste it. Now when you've pasted, we get another copy of it. I'm going to call it menu instead. Now these are just shapes at the moment with text in them. We'll worry about actually setting up the buttons so that they work later on. There is one thing that you'll notice, and that is that the footer hasn't come through, and that does happen sometimes in PowerPoint. So we're just going to delete all of this on here, and we'll just grab a copy of the footer as well from the main slide master. So we'll copy that, go back to where we were working, and we'll paste. I'm just using Control V to paste that in. Now whilst we're at it, and whilst we can see that this footer's a bit of a problem, we'll put the footer into the other slides as well. So let's delete the other information that we don't need on there. I'm just hitting the delete key for each of these, paste in the footer, go to this one here, delete the information that we don't need, and paste in the footer. Now at this point I'm just going to make the picture a bit smaller so that we can move the text across here. So let's move both of those together. I use the Shift key to select them together. Now this slide, if we hover over, is the one that we're going to use for our senior instructor details. One of the things that you're asked to do is make sure that it has got the title Senior Instructor on there. Now I don't want to change this title because I'm going to use this title here for the name of the instructor. So instead we'll go to the Insert ribbon and we're going to insert a text box. And we'll create a text box up here. It's going to say Senior Instructor. And I think what we'll do is we'll copy this style. So I've highlighted this style. We'll use the Format Painter. And then we can, oh, this is going to be awkward, but we'll try it. There we go. Highlight the Senior Instructor and it will copy that format for us. Now the reason I said it was going to be awkward is because I had to make sure I selected the correct text box. Okay, so we've got this set up for ourselves. This has got the Help button, but it's missing the Menu button. So let's get the Menu button. We'll copy that. Go back to, I've used Control C, go back to this slide and we'll use Control V to paste the Menu button in. So we've got this slide, we've now got here, we've got our main slide, and then we've got our title slide, which is going to be for the main menu and the help. Now I said it can be used for main menu and help, but we can put the buttons on here if we want to use it for the menu screen. If we do put the buttons on here, then we can't use it for the help screen. If we don't put the buttons on here, then we can use it for the help screen, but we have to put the buttons on the menu. It doesn't really matter which way you do it. I think what we'll do now is we'll put the buttons on here that we're going to use for the main menu, and we'll just put the text boxes, sorry, the shapes on there which has got the text in them. So we've still got one of those buttons in our clipboard, so I'm going to paste that button in. I'll just drag it down a little bit, trying to keep it in line with help. And this one can be called Senior Instructors. That's not going to fit, is it? So let's try and make our text a little bit smaller for this particular button. There we go, that now fits on. So we'll put another button on there, Control V for paste again, keep it lined up. And this one will be our cars. And our final one, if we copy that, just get it lined up, will be contact. Okay, there's one final button that we need to put in, and that's going back to our Senior Instructor Details layout, and we will need on here a button that will go back to the Instructors slide. So if we take the Senior Instructors button from here, we can copy that and put that onto our Senior Instructors slide. It will be in the same place so that it's all consistent. Now at this point you have done everything that you need to do to create the master slide apart from the hyperlinks. You're asked to produce printed evidence of the master slide implementation, and therefore it's not necessary at this stage to create the hyperlinks. You can just print this off and show that you have produced a master slide. Because you're using multiple slide layouts, then what you will need to do is annotate. That means add some text on to explain what each of the different layouts are used for. If you have a look at the similar but different answer file, you'll see an example of how that can be done.